I was talking about unpopular and unlikable. To me, the true difference between being unpopular and unlikable is best explained in a case study from over the last year. How many people in here are Netflix subscribers? Remember that nasty little decision they made without our input last year? Yeah, that is an unlikable decision. Unlikable decisions don't honor the people who allow them to be in business every day. Unpopular decisions are ones that businesses make in order to look ahead and honor the people who are actually bringing revenue in your door and like what you're doing and spread the word and share your message. The bottom line is you have to pick one. In a day and age where people do business with people before they do business with any brand, people don't do business with logos, they don't do business with PMS colors, they don't do business with Twitter accounts, Facebook pages, or websites. They do business with people. So if you're going to get out there and actually get business done, guess what? You need to develop a brand personality. And there's a couple of things that goes into that. First of all, as a brand, you have to figure out who you are. You're a human being. It's okay. And it's okay to bring that human side into your business because people are looking for that. They're looking in this day and age for somebody to connect with. You can walk into Walmart and connect with absolutely nothing in the process of getting things done. We connect with a price tag, because that's what motivates the decision to walk into that store. You're not a commodity. We're going to get into that a little bit later. But the beauty of building a brand that has a personality is that people look at you and they go, oh, she's the loudmouth red blogger who talked about whiny little freelancers. And they remember that, and they have a visceral reaction to it. They either love it or they hate it. Don't build a brand for the middle. Indifference is going to kill you. And if you can, is there anybody in this room who can think about, when they plan an event? I'm just curious, is there anybody that you sit down and you go, you know what, I really need to call Bob. He is boring as all get out and I would love to have dinner with him. Bueller? No, that's not how we plan our days. And as a business, you have just as much leeway, whether you believe it or not, to choose with whom you do business. Having a brand personality is telling your audience, guess what? I want to do business with people who like what I'm doing. I don't want to have to apologize for what I put out there or the way that I do business. But here's the thing, I will listen to you if you don't like something that I do, and we're going to have a conversation about it. Unlikable decisions, unlikable businesses come back and they give you the bad finger on the previous slide. Unpopular decisions, remember that what this means, it's not a giant foam finger at a football game, but that finger means that, hey, you had an idea, and I'm going to listen to it because you're going to be pretty important to us later in the conversation. The second thing, what having a personality allows your brand to do is become approachable to your audience. Everything in this day and age is digital. If you're not digital, you have a storefront. There are many successful businesses in this world that will never have a social media footprint or a web presence, and you know what? That's okay, because they're doing social media their own way with the people who walk through their front door. But having a personality makes you human, and since you can't have a conversation with a logo or a PMS color, people feel like they can talk to you. So you can't get to being approachable, and you can't tell people that as a brand you're approachable without putting out the welcome mat by using personality, by saying, hey, I'm cool, sit down, grab a cup of coffee, we'll have a conversation. In whatever vernacular that your brand chooses. by having a personality and extending the fact that, hey, we can have a conversation, people realize that they can become a part of your brand. Think about your favorite businesses online and how they put themselves out there. Think about their Facebook pages. Think about their Twitter feeds, their LinkedIn accounts, their blogs in the comments section. The best brands have conversations. And through those conversations, people come to have an ownership in those brands because you're listening. And you know what? I get pissed off when I find out all these big name bloggers turn off their blog comments. Because what they're doing is they're saying, I'm going to broadcast. That's lovely. If I could get you on my DVR, I would fast forward through you. They have a responsibility to their audience that they have walked away from. And while people might retweet the dickens out of their blog posts and their messages and their books, God bless them. But you make it an awful lot harder for people to stick around, stay around, and keep coming back and bring their friends when you turn off the phone so nobody can invite you to the party. How are people supposed to reach you? Think about that. If people can't become a part of your brand's conversation, how are they going to play a little game of pass the sheep and share you with their friends and people that they know and trust? I don't know about you, but pretty much, I would say 85% of the business that I do in my life now comes from me going, hey, I need a blank. Can somebody tell me where to get one? I see a lot of heads nodding. If you turn that off, that's how business gets done. And people want to share brands that make them feel good. They want to be, we're all inherently altruistic. We want to share links, we want to share resources, share restaurants we found, great coffee, drinks, destinations, great people that we should introduce to you because we want to be the source of that information. It's a little egotistical, but it's how we're wired as human beings. How good do you feel when you get to walk up to somebody that you haven't seen in a couple months and they go, Mark, I am incredibly grateful that you introduced me to Judy because she has been an invaluable asset to our organization. She connected me with so-and-so. We just hired her. She introduced me to blank and we brought him on board. Or she referred me over to a restaurant and we're doing an event there. That makes you feel good. So getting your brand out there and encouraging it to be shareable is a combination of that personality and that approachability, because that's what makes people want to share you, because is there anybody in here who feels good about somebody coming back and go, hey, you know what, that restaurant, it sucked. Hey, I'm so glad I could give you that referral. Polish your nails on your lapel. No, we don't want to share things that suck because that makes us look bad, especially in a work environment. How many times have you seen one of those, I'm going to raise my hand, email exchanges where you have to send an email to somebody that you referred business to and you've said, hi, so Mary got back to me and she said that you totally went off the grid on her. I went out of my way to refer you this business because I trusted you with one of my clients. Would you mind getting back to her? Thank you. Undertone, bless your heart. There's a middle finger in there. It's a big middle finger in there. Hey, does anybody enjoy sending one of those emails or having one of those phone conversations? Being a shareable brand and building that foundation is so important. And the reason it's unpopular is because when you make yourself shareable, people are going to share back, and you might not like what it is that they have to say. I spoke at a conference in Denver this past weekend. It was called Starfest. Any sci-fi nerds, comic book geeks in here? Thank you. Okay, so I was in a conference filled with people dressed up as Star Trek characters. And if you want, I'll come show you the picture later of the girl who had the the Yoda backpack. It was adorable. Not. But I was in this room, and this guy came up to me, and he goes, yeah, I stopped by your blog. This is what his face looked like. Stopped by your blog. Felt like I needed a warm shower after leaving there, not a cold shower. He said, you're kind of chilly, I wasn't ready to get drug across the railroad tracks. And there's two things I could have done. Well, what post did you read? And why do you feel that way? And my response was, you know what, I don't claim to be for everybody. And if you aren't picking up what I put down, there's a whole lot of other places out there that'll give it to you. But what happened after that exchange is he sat in on my presentation, and he came up to me afterwards. He's like, you know what, I'm going to go back to your blog now that I've met you, now that I've heard you speak. And I'm like, thanks. Thanks for giving me a second chance. But being approachable, I could have handled that two ways. I could have been a jerk about it and say, well, fine, if you don't like it, go somewhere else. Or I could just say, you know what, I'm not for everybody. Bless your heart. But what being shareable does is something really cool happens to our businesses. You go out and you tell everybody about her business, and then she does the same, and then she does the same, and then before you know it, you and her are both at the same event, and you're both talking it up, and then there's 10 people on her doorstep the next day, and then she goes, oh God, I have more business than I can handle, and now I have to grow. But becoming scalable and understanding scalability is about one simple thing. It's not about making more faster. It's about how to grow your business so you continue to own your business and your business doesn't own you. Because growth is one of the leading reasons, strain from growth, why small to mid-sized businesses fail every day of the year. Because they don't put the infrastructure in place to handle this incredible personality that they've developed, putting out the welcome mat so people will come talk to them, people feeling welcome so they're happy to share the brand, and then now you have more business than you can handle.